Hi everyone, welcome back. We are ending the year in style. I've booked the studio 1 month too late, and so we've had to rearrange and wait. And on the way, Josh has crashed his car. So yeah, great end to the year, isn't it?
I hope that we start the next year better than we've ended it.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, it's been a good year, apart from crashing my car on the way here. But it's all fine. It's just a car. I'm healthy and safe. So
everyone's unharmed.
Yeah, that's not a problem. But yeah, we'll dive straight into a bit of a wrap up of the year.
Yeah, a bit of review of some key points and some moments across the year, I guess. We've sort of like gone into our story in previous episodes, haven't we? So yeah, we can sort of like breeze through the year and have a look at what's to come next year.
Yeah, wrap up on things that have happened. I think if it was something I was thinking about, over the last few days when we sort of said we'd do a wrap up of the year, things that really stand out to me, and I think there's a lot of things we can take from this year that we can be really proud of. Things that stand out for me would be just the way we've grown. I think we put a lot of time and effort into growing, as we spoke about in previous podcasts. But we put the money into grow, and we've grown. We've successfully increased all over the business, not just in terms of revenue, but in processes and procedures and other things that I think have really held us in good stead and things that we can be happy with.
Yeah, I think grown and improved. I think is a key phrase, because there's a lot of stuff that we do now a whole lot better than we did last year, and we wonder how we ever did it last year, even though at the time we felt it was fine. But we made those improvements and that growth, as you say. I mean, I think we hit last year's revenue about mid-October, didn't we?
Something like that, yeah.
We sort of like showed our growth that we were kind of expecting. It was nice to be able to actually, get to a point where we felt that we had achieved what we'd set out to do.
Yeah, I think that was forecasted for then. And like you say, it was a nice thing to hit it at that point, which kind of solidified we'd done what we'd set out to do. But it wasn't obviously foot off the gas then. We've had to keep pushing right until the last few days of December to get to where we want to get to.
Yeah.
Another key thing that stands out, I think, and I think you'll agree, is when we've been having the sort of monthly meetings with our team and speaking on things that we're really happy with what's going on, is the amount of work that we do on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. We're now into the sort of 4,500 jobs a year area. So we're covering a huge amount of work each year, and the amount of, we call them recalls, but they're not always recalls as we say. The percentage of that has been so low this year.
Yeah.
And
so
a lot of
for
the
anyone,
time.
So for anyone that's not familiar with that sort of term, recall, basically we've been to a job and we felt it's fine and we left, and the customers called us up to say, actually, we're not quite happy with something, or we're not sure about something, and we've had to return back on a free of charge visit, basically.
Yeah. And I think, as we say, we'll always list them out, the reasons what have happened, or what we feel has gone wrong, or whether we feel it's been a mistaken recall. It's often, a lot of the time, it's not something that we've done wrong as a company or technically. It's a misunderstanding.
And do you know what? I absolutely hate recalls, as anyone in our position would do. And yeah, I used to hit the roof quite quickly when we got recalls, and you immediately think, what have we done that's been so silly, that's made the customer feel the need to get back in touch with us to go back to their house? But actually, when you then start looking into the reasons as to why we've had to go back, more often than not, it's actually unrelated to something we've done, or it's literally just an understanding of maybe a new system or a new part or a new bit of equipment that we put in that they may not understand how to use, or maybe there was something that was a little bit loose and we just had to tighten it up. But it's very rare, very rare.
It is. And I think it's important for us that we do go through it with the guys and speak about it as well, because that's how we, learn and improve from things. Ultimately, you're never going to go a year without getting a recall on something. It's almost impossible to do that amount of work and not get anything to call back on.
100%. I mean, you can't be perfect.
No.
You really can't. Even when I was on the tools on my own, and I'm sure you were the same, you'd have a job at some point that perhaps there was something that was loose, or perhaps there was something that maybe you didn't explain to the customer correctly or in enough detail, or perhaps they weren't there, and then when they got home, they're like, oh, I think you fixed it, but is that working? And you have to just pop back round and have a chat with them and
just
go
courtesy.
through it. Yeah, exactly. And you have to, and that's what we do as our level of care. We warranty everything we put in. You've got 12 months on it, so generally speaking, a recall would probably be within 24 hours of us being there. That's generally what happens. But on the flip side to that, we incentivize the guys with positive feedback.
Yeah.
So although we note the recalls, obviously seeing those positives come in obviously gives them incentive to make sure that they haven't just done their job properly and don't get recalled. They're actually gone over and above board with their level of customer service to get, I don't know, even just a message into the office to say the guys were great today, which we get in abundance, or a Google review that you know promotes our business as well for us. So we incentivize the guys in that sense, but the level of recalls that we get is very low.
Yeah.
Very low. I would challenge any other home maintenance business to get them to the low levels that we do. I mean, sometimes it's like 1% to 2% of our jobs.
I think,
then, you know, as we say, they're not always legitimate recalls either.
And it's a testament to us as a business and what we believe to be right for the, you know, for the customer. It's how we wanted to run things. And I think, you know, we also said this year that we wanted to do a lot of in-house training. Yeah. With the, you know, more free time that we had, how do we get better in-house training?
Well, that's one of the points that I was quite proud of, that we've actually both put the time into this year to make sure that we did get that in-house training, because it really does make a huge difference.
And it's one thing, you know, making a mistake, but then it's always often how you put that right is how a real company operates.
Yeah.
Every company makes a mistake, but it's how they deal with the mistakes is what makes, you know, a good company from a bad company.
Yeah.
So the training is something that I think we've done really well this year, and it's not just training with our guys, it's also taking the time to do the training with the girls in the office, the customer service department.
Yeah. And they're fantastic. And I mean, the customer service that they provide, I mean, on the sort of like training that we've done, it's more or less like a refresher, isn't it? It's just like a chat with them, and that, you know, just sort of, we're all talking together to see what we do and how we do it and what we would change and what we wouldn't change. And it's just kind of like a refresher. And, you know, I take something away from it as well, because you think, actually, the way they're doing that is actually really good. I'm maybe going to apply a little bit of that next time I speak to someone.
And a lot of the time they know what we're saying in the training sessions. It's just, like you said, a refresher in their brain so that they don't forget it, and making sure that the process is still as we see it,
and showing that we care as well, and that we are keeping on top of it, and we want to maintain that level that they are working towards.
Yeah. Or is there anything that needs changing? You know, they're the ones that are doing that job all day, every day now. If they see a clunky part in the process, they're going to highlight it to us, and then also we can then change it together.
Yeah. Or how to deal with a tricky client, because we do get them. We do get them
all the time.
And whether that's a misinterpretation on how someone can come across on WhatsApp, or they have a genuine, you know, bee in their bonnet about something that's happened, but you can get tricky customers.
Yeah, I think it's so easy. You know, the word tricky is such a broad word for any customer, but a lot of the time I think what we see is it's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
It's people that don't understand what we're saying, and maybe we talk in a different lingo to other people, how they understand, because we're talking from an AC or a plumbing or a mechanical background, and people just don't understand what we're talking about. Yeah. So they think they've done or paid for one thing, and they've actually chose to do something else. And then they don't understand, you know, and that's when it gets misaligned and it needs explaining. But as soon as you explain it and have a conversation with them, usually people are then understanding and they completely know, you know, exactly what the situation is.
It's extremely rare that someone would still, after speaking to us personally on the phone or one of the management team, that they would still walk away from it feeling aggrieved. Yeah. It's very, very rare that sort of thing would happen. So yeah, putting that time into that in-house training, I think has been really good. And one of the key points that I had said to myself at the beginning of the year, I really want to put some time into that. And I'm glad that we did. I mean, we could probably do more, to be honest.
100%.
But you know, the demand that's just been there for our work, it's very hard to actually pull the guys out of work and say they're not going to be doing any work today because they're going to be, you know, in with us doing some training. But you have to do it. But yeah, I'd probably say I want to repeat what we've done in 2026 in that regard, but try and do a little bit more, and try and do a little bit more sort of out in the field on jobs as well.
Yeah, even if it's, you know, refresher courses or stuff they already know, but we're just talking about it again. I think it's just so important to keep that as a, you know, on the forefront of everyone's mind.
And also making sure that the people that have done the learning, or the guys that are on their way to being engineers, have made significant progress to keep progressing within the business. It's
a way of keeping track of everything. Another big one that points out for me personally, and I know it will for you, is how much the AC install side of the business has come along in this last year.
Yeah.
It's actually made up over 30% of our entire revenue for this last year, which
I mean, we saw how big it was last year, didn't we? But we weren't quite sure how much. And so we really tracked it closely this year, didn't we?
Yeah. And to see that, you know, from once what was a small little sort of side thing that you started back in the day to do AC installs alongside the maintenance work and the cleaning work has now grown to be something that's, over 30% of our yearly revenue coming from is huge. And it's now something that you could run it as a separate business. It's big enough to run as a small business on its own.
It provides more revenue than what we were doing 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, just on its own.
Yeah, and back then we thought we were doing pretty well. We'd made pretty good progress. So yeah, it really has. And again, that just goes into the training that we've done with the guys on how to install it, finding the best equipment to install, finding the best copper pipe to use when you're doing an install.
And changing it.
And actually changing it, because some companies do not.
Decide not
they
to.
will be the cheaper ones. Do not use those. And yeah, just putting that extra effort in and making sure that every installation that we do is quality.
Yeah.
And the customer has got out of it exactly what they thought they were going to, and warranted, peace of mind. And that's what's given us the recommendations.
I think we've really positioned ourselves for the AC installs as a really good value for money. When people are comparing prices and somebody often comes out with a phrase of, I can get it done with this company much cheaper.
Yeah.
A lot of the time they're not, as we always know, they're not quoting comparable things.
It really, really bugs me because, and I always say this, you can get anything cheaper. If you go into Rolls Royce and you want that car, you're not going to say to them, well, I can get a Mercedes for cheaper than that. And then walk into Mercedes and then say, well, I can get a Volkswagen for cheaper than that. And then walk into Volkswagen and go, well, I can get a Nissan for cheaper than that. There's always going to be something cheaper down the line. Like there always is. It just depends on what you want to get out for it. So if you want to go and pay Nissan money and expect a Mercedes job, it's not going to happen, is it?
No, and we see it all the time. And usually, I still think, unless you correct me, we're yet to see a comparable like-for-like quote that is a significant difference in value.
Never seen
that is actually the same equipment, the same quality, the same warranty, offering the same level of service as us, doesn't happen for the same money.
Yeah.
Usually when there's a significant price difference, there's either a compromise on equipment, a compromise on the way it's done, no warranty, you won't hear from them afterwards. There's a whole different job that's been quoted.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at two quotes, just make sure you're comparing like for like, I think is the advice, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think that, I do get the fact that some people haven't got the budget, and I've had people send me the comparable quotes and I've stated to them, look, they've not actually detailed that they're going to change the pipe. They've not actually detailed that what spec of equipment this is. This may not even be inverter, which inverter is not a new thing. It's been going 40 years, but in Dubai it's new. But it should be installed as an absolute minimum here. The energy efficiency you get from it is incredible. So these people aren't even putting that in. So when I explain this and say, well, if I was to quote you the same, I could probably meet their price as well. I'm not going to, because that's substandard and we just won't entertain it. But some people just haven't got the budget for it. And I do understand that. But, to those people, I'd probably say, well, maybe just hold out or something for the actual install. Unless you're doing a renovation, your hands might be tied. But I would hold out, because the difference of 10%, you're going to pay that in probably DIY bills across the next 2 years and repairs probably. And then when the manufacturer comes around because you've got a warranty defect and they say it's void because the pipe work isn't changed or the insulation quality is so bad, it's going to cost you more then as well.
Yeah. You're going to you pay cheap, pay twice is the saying there.
Yeah, exactly. And I could go on about that all day long, but...
save that for another time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I think, that's... For me, certainly, that's the key things that I think are sort of stand out for me this year. Is there anything that you've got that you want to speak about, or are we going to go straight on to next year?
I think we have covered it more or less on the key factors, being the training, how the company's grown, how the installs have really have boosted us this year, and we take great pride in everything that we do there. But yeah, I mean, I think that one of the other things that we hadn't mentioned as well is that we've implemented this year quite strongly is the annual maintenance contracts.
Yeah.
Because we never used to offer them because our reaction time wasn't good enough. We know that, our regular customers know that. But now we've expanded the team, we can actually fulfill, immediate requirements if someone has an emergency. We're offering them obviously to people that have either done an install with us or have done significant work with us, because we're not going to start looking after a villa that's been stood for 25 years with the original equipment that's had no love and care across the years, because you're going to have call out after call out after call out. Let's get it up to standard. Then we put a contract on it. But that's something I'm really proud of, the fact that we've not just had a shotgun effect like a lot of other companies have and just said, right, we're doing contracts now. We have to try and get as many as we can for as cheap as we can to, fill up a team's diary or, make on paper the company look like they're worth something. Now, taking in our whole Expat Group sort of ethos, we're offering contracts that haven't got any fluff in them. There's none of this, I don't know, people like to put in there that you're going to have free this and free that and all stuff that you're not even interested in. We've got the key stuff in there, covers you for everything. Anything that's going to cost you extra money, we've got a solution for it to try and prevent it. And we stick it in there, and it's really good value for money. It's probably a touch more expensive than the market from other companies, just because a lot of people are going for volume and going a bit cheaper. But I'm really proud of our efforts towards that and the contracts that we have, because they're really good clients that we have, all of our MC customers, and they value what we do, and we offer them a great service.
Yeah, I think, as you say, the key point there that you highlighted was that we had a problem within the company that we needed to solve before we started offering the maintenance contracts.
Offer a good service.
We could have done it if we were greedy, and we could have gone and took a load of money off people and underperformed, and then
we would have failed and got a bad reputation.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've addressed the problem that we had the best we can. Now we can start taking them on. And yeah, if you want a maintenance contract, get in touch. But yeah, moving on to to sum it up, moving on to next year. What's the thoughts? Excited?
Yeah, always. I feel like I sometimes get into this sort of time of the year, the end of December, and you start to feel like the year's potentially done. If you're working towards some sort of target, you've probably either done it or you will not do it, maybe. Yeah. But it's sort of a bit of a weird period. So it's kind of like you feel like the year is almost done and dusted, and you start to get this new energy for next year, because it's like 1st of January, we go again. Yeah. And, everything's zeroed. And we push again. We've got plans to expand, obviously, with more engineers coming on the team as our organic growth is still progressing. And obviously, as we touched on there with the AC installations, that was a natural progression from the maintenance. And I think the next natural progression for us is to move into the renovations, which is obviously something that we've been working on for the last few months and is looking to get stuck into in January as well. Yeah, I think that's probably the next big step for us, isn't it? It is. It's a massive step. And it's something that has been spoken about time and time and time again. We've been speaking about it for the last 3 years, maybe even 4. Do we do it? How do we do it? Should we do it? Yeah. Customers even saying, well, can you guys do it for me? People that use us a lot. And when we would say, no, we don't, we're focusing on this. And it's never been the right time. A lot of people have wanted that Expat Group quality on their renovation, as well as just the Expat quality on the MEP that we're installing. Yeah. One of the key reasons for me is why I wanted to get into renovations was not only because I want to grow and expand the business, but also because we work on so many renovation projects with some really good companies, and, in years to come, if we could be anywhere near them, I'd be really happy. But what we do see is that the fundamentals of getting a good finish on a good villa renovation is getting all the behind the scenes stuff done, all the MEP stuff, the brain work. If your AC grills aren't going to be aligned because the ducting isn't aligned, the final finish is going to look crap in your living room. If a mixer in the shower isn't aligned or the right level, the bathroom's going to look terrible because it's not going to look symmetrical, it's not going to look level. So we're teeing up all these finishes for an absolute tap-in. Yeah. So you just feel like, well, if we're doing all that brains behind it, a natural progression of our work is to just finish it off. And I think we've been around enough renovations ourselves now that you walk in and you're like, wow, this looks amazing. And then, as you said, you start looking at it with your MEP hat on, and you start noticing things that maybe aren't quite right or could have been a little bit better. Yeah. And that, do you know what? If they used different equipment there, they could have achieved a higher ceiling, or if they had positioned that differently, the entrance of the house would look better. There's all this stuff that that we have had the benefit of seeing across the last 7 years to be able to put it into place on our own company. Yeah. I think the important thing as well is, as we said with the maintenance contracts, we didn't just take them on when people were screaming at us to do so, because we had other problems to fix, and we've kind of got the company into a position now where we are able to do this, and we're not
just simply going to take any old renovation on and hope to do it. You know, we've partnered with someone that's coming on board with us that has got a hell of a lot of experience in this sector.
I think it's a key point as well, because I've probably just really just glazed over how easy a whole renovation can be. As we said before, your plumbing, I'm AC. We're not renovation experts.
And I think that might be
that we got an expert in with us to partner with us to make sure that, you know, we had a partner and a managing director that knew exactly what they're doing.
And this is probably the reason why subconsciously we haven't run with the idea, because there was always that, you know, that area of a renovation that we probably didn't know between me and you.
Yeah.
Most of our business now, we know the ins and outs of it, and we can advise and help the best we can with our experience.
Yeah.
But that was the one area where we was lacking in. So as we spoke about, you know, over the most of this year, when we're talking about setting this company up and expanding into the renovation sector, it always highlighted the fact that we needed to partner with somebody that had that experience.
Yeah, it's so crucial. So crucial.
To get it done.
Obviously, as we were planning, as we have been for several months now, as we were planning and we didn't have that person in place, there was always something in my mind that was sort of felt that, you know, there is a gap here, and we were sort of looking, and we spoke to several different people, and you know, perhaps they weren't the right fit, so we weren't as comfortable with that. But as we said about going back to the contract aspect of that expansion, we didn't just want to do it and not have the staff to be able to perform well. Same with the renovations. We couldn't have performed as well as we possibly could without someone with 10 years of experience doing high quality villas in Dubai. And I'm really happy that we had that synergy. It worked out. It was just such an easy decision once we found the right person.
I think that's the key. It's the key thing is to having the right people. I've said it before, the right people in the right places. You know, we now have a quality of people that have all skill to do a project from initial concept through to handover, and be confident in the fact that we can do it to a great standard, and of a great, you know, quality and level as well. It's something I have a real, you know, passion for, is renovation as well. I think, you know, taking a space that is maybe dated or old or 15, 20 years old and just removing everything and then creating, you know, a brand new space and bringing it up to modern day. I'm really, really excited to get started with it. I really can't wait to, you know, to push forward into 2026 with that, and then onwards. I'm so happy that we chose to plan it correctly over the last sort of 6 months of a year and get everything in the right place before launching it, before really speaking about it, and really making sure in ourselves that we're confident in it first before moving on.
No, definitely. And I think, you know, when I first started the company and obviously was just doing AC, and quickly realised that we needed AC, we needed electrical, and we were building this all up together. It then gets you thinking, like, how far can you take this like brand and this group? So to see it expand into what we've now built it to become, to then progress into renovations next year, I'm so excited for. But also what else that can lead you into, because, and I'm not going to say it out loud on camera now, but I can see it going into more than that. And one of the things I will say that I would like to get to, maybe it won't happen before the end of the year, but at some point I can see us, and we have spoke about it before, being able to buy a house with the company, renovate it, and do everything to the highest of high standards that we possibly can, put a massive warranty on it, a massive contract on it for years, and it's the expat home. And then we can sell it ourselves even. But with social media and document it all and release it to be one of a kind. And I'd love to do that, just have our own like branded home. And as I say, you know, just be able to do everything to the top of the top, because, you know, there will be clients and they will have budgets and they will have their own personal taste, which may not allow you to do everything that you personally want to do. So to be able to do something personal like that would be really cool one day.
Yeah, I think that the other thing that excites me about renovation as like that is there's so many different ways to do a renovation and work with people. You've got the end user, somebody that want to renovate their dream home and make it a space for them that they, you know, really want to live in and love and, you know, spend a lot of time in. You've got the investor that wants to buy, flip a property, upgrade it a little bit and sell it on.
Yeah.
You've got the option to buy one yourself, as you said, with the company, renovate it and either sell it on or do something with it. There's so many different ways to make money through doing renovations, or not even money, but to complete projects with a diverse range of people.
Yeah.
It makes it really interesting and exciting to sort of do different things. One day you could be handing over a house to a family that absolutely loved the space. The next day you could be handing over a villa to an investor that wants to flip it on and then he's ready to do another one.
Yeah.
Or you could be doing it for yourself. There's so many different ways to do it with the renovation. I think that's what I'm really excited about, is working with people to create them, them spaces.
And hopefully we do get to do many for end users, because I mean the level of customer satisfaction I get just from the work that we do now, when people are happy with a job that we've done, whether it's just fixing a drip or installing a brand new AC system, to hand over a home to someone, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think like when you see, I certainly get excited about that when you see it all coming together and you're on the project from day dot and you see it as a shell. Yeah. And then it starts getting put back together and landscaping goes in, swimming pool goes in, then it starts getting furnished and all the final finishes go in to then, as you said, hand it over to somebody and see the look on their face. And
one of the things as well that we've got an advantage of is, as I say, we've been involved in renovation projects for the last 7 years from an MEP perspective, as a subcontractor perspective. So we're able to sort of see behind the scenes of things that could have been done a lot better and things that could have been done a lot more efficiently and save time. We've broken down renovation jobs as part of our research, and we know exactly how much time these things should take. And, the majority of the stuff is the prep and the MEP, which is our bread and butter. That's what we do every day anyway. And so as long as the sort of civil aspect of it, which, as I say, we've had so much experience of being able to see from the other side, is managed better than what we can see, I don't see why we can't make a really good go of it. And I think our outlook on the way that we work and the reputation that we have speaks volumes, because we haven't told anyone about this other than a few people close to us
people.
In the last few months. And just from people talking and getting that buzz, we've got several people that are actually interested in doing a renovation with us.
Not just interested to a point where we're talking seriously about quotes and moving forward. Yeah. Which, as you said, is a testament, because this is the first time really we've spoke about it outside of close, friends and people that we know and existing customers that have maybe mentioned it to us in the past that they'd be interested in something like that. So I think it already gives confidence going into it. It's scary, it's exciting, it's all of these emotions that you get. It's almost like starting a whole new business within a business. Which is really exciting, because we know what we've done already and we know how to do or to make something good. It's just applying it again, and it almost feels like we're starting over again with a new idea.
And also not being afraid to make mistakes, because we will. And there'll be challenges.
Always is.
But I think we've just sort of like built up a bit of a backbone, a bit of resilience of how to overcome stuff. We also have a staff of 40 people behind us already as a backup for if you need something quick, job needs to be accelerated, any knowledge that needs to be input from any aspect. Like we've got it there as well. So I think that gives us a bit more confidence to go into something that's a little bit new, but also having someone to come in as a partner, as a managing director that has 10 years experience of knocking out high-end villas across Dubai is it's a big thing.
That knows,
a real big thing
knows
for us.
all the bits and pieces that we don't.
Exactly.
So I think
it's just the piece of the puzzle that we needed to enable us to really let go on this. And like I say, I'm really excited for it. I really am.
Yeah, me too. No, me too.
I was going to ask you as well. I mean, we sort of like talk a lot of work, but like personally as well, like from 2025 and then looking ahead from 2026, like what would you say you look back on and you're like, oh, that was cool, I like that moment? And what would you want to look forwards to 2026 and be like, yeah, that'll be cool if I can achieve that or do that, or any little goals you got personally outside the business?
There was once this year, the standout moment, there was a couple actually, but work-wise, standout moment was having, I don't know if I spoke about this before on maybe a previous
I said not
one.
work-wise, personal-wise.
Well, it was both.
Oh, okay.
It was a bit of both. It was personal. When my parents were here and we were driving out for lunch one day and we see one of the vans on the road. And my dad spotted it and pointed it out. That was a really sort of a moment I'd always thought about of having my parents in town and actually being out on the roads and seeing one of my vans,
Yeah.
or ours. It's a weird feeling, but you always want it to happen, and you never know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen, but it did.
Yeah.
And it just felt cool. Like, felt really nice for them to see that, and like I said, for Dad to point out and be like, oh look, it's, and it was one of the new ones.
Yeah.
I know we've got them all now, but it wasn't one of the older ones, so
Oh,
that was
nice.
quite cool. And then the other one, big personal, was obviously getting engaged.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Almost 8 years later, but yeah, that was probably the biggest personal thing that happened to me this year.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I mean, there's been quite a few like lovely moments that we've had, and it always comes back to family and everything that we sort of do together. And I mean, I think one of the things for me that was like real key this year that's really helped us in like our family and getting it all really lovely and happy, and is the fact that we were able to arrange our finances in a way that we could relieve Laura from working at the school, because the hours that was being demanded of her was taken away from the family so much, with our own kids as well, not just myself, and that's really allowed her to be with the kids so much, do all the mum kind of stuff, and it's just made a really like nice like family home, and she can do the homework with the kids rather than having no patience, having spent all day with 25 of them, and it was really, really nice moment. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, not been able to, but something that you always sort of like dreamed of as having like your wife, the mum, stay at home, look after the kids, make sure everything's ticking along. She is so happy. I thought she'd be bored, but she is so happy. So as I say, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, no, and it's nice to see, because I know she tried it before a few years ago, right? And then ended up going back into the school system and teaching, and enjoyed it at first, but then ultimately, it just got to a point where it was too much. And I know we spoke about it quite a lot.
Yeah, she'd had a little break and thought it was going to be different going back, and it was a lovely school, and our kids still go to the same school now. But it just wasn't really any different than what she had before. But she gave it a good go, and like I say, she's far happier now, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Yeah. Any personal or work goals for 2026, or not dealt with that far yet? Get this year out of the way first.
I mean, I think for 2026, I want to personally just stay healthy as I can. I'm going to knock the vape on the head for good this time again.
We'll see next December if that happens or not.
Yeah,
I don't think
so.
so.
Of course, yeah. But no, I mean, I have cut down significantly, but 1st of January, that's it. It's got to go. It's a horrible, disgusting habit. If anyone's doing it, stop it. It looks awful. I know it looks awful, and it gives you bad breath, so stop.
I gave up 7 months ago and I haven't been back yet. So
no, good on you. I need to take out a leaf out of your book. So generally to be happy and healthy, I guess, is all I can ask for.
Yeah. Nice.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Well, there's a long time to go yet.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's all. I think we covered everything we wanted to do. It's a great chat. Really excited for next year, and let's give it a good go.
Me too. Yeah, really excited. All right. See you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.